Guys, apology, I did have my mic muted on stream there, so Zeph carry the intro there.
Wow, dude.
I'm on the slip today, I apologise guys. But let's clean it up and go into game number 1 here on Moonlight Madness, and spawning up here in the top right we have our green Protoss from My Insanity representing Singapore. Also, it is BlysK.
And in the bottom left, spawning in the purple trunks, this is Jabito. One of our other Filipino representatives here, looking to do some damage. Our only Terran representative as well, so Terran fans, get hype.
Alright man, and remember what happened on this map? Is that last time we saw BlysK play a Protoss versus Terran?
I'm trying to repress that memory. It was quite brutal. But yeah, Jabito did fall 0-2 to BlysK the last time he played against him during the group stages. So I don't know, man. This is going to be an interesting one if he does do the same tactics again, because BlysK certainly knows how to abuse the hell out of Protoss in the early game. We're talking Adepts, Pylon Overcharge, and Oracles in quick succession.
Interestingly here, BlysK going for that very quick Cybernetics core once again here, and over on the other side we see a CC first coming out here from Jabito, and this could open up a bit of a play here from BlysK once he spots this.
Yep. Well, that SCV will dip on into that main base, count the pylons. He'll at least breathe a sigh of relief, seeing that the second one is in the main base. That's generally where you want it to be. But BlysK is very confident against Jabito, so I'm not sure if he'll necessarily go for the super aggressive options against him unless he's looking for a quick game. I'm sure he's frustrated by the fact that he did lose in the first round of the winners bracket, so that now he's found himself down here. In fact, he was mentioning on Twitter that's a bit of a trend of his to unfortunately lose in the first round, but then manage to pull through the losers bracket.
Yep, and there is a funny little SCV hanging around here for Jabito. I wonder what he's up to, but BlysK is probe side of the map after scouting that CC first, and then he sees that triple Rex follow-up. It's going to be interesting to see what reaction comes out of BlysK here, because 3 racks is going to be a lot better to hold off if BlysK went for something like that very fast War Prism Adept play. Yeah,
3 racks is actually a really nice way to open in TVP at the moment for Legacy of the Void. You're just going to have a lot of stuff to play with. And oftentimes that's just what you need against the Protoss, because they're coming at you with some sort of weird shenanigans. Other than that, there are some 2-base timings that you can revolve around with the 3 racks opener. Going late game, some Terran seems to struggle a little bit, going like, what do I actually do against Protoss, because that Blink Disruptor composition is just so deadly. And man, you can micro against it, but especially if you're not necessarily favored against someone, you might have a bit of a hard time.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those new things as well. It's like, oh, you're so used to you're in the mindset for like Zeg versus Terran to split, and you come into versus Protoss where you usually just got to set up a huge concave, but then you got to now account for splitting as well. And I don't know, man, it's going to take a little while for I think Terrans to get into that mindset if they do play that bias style against that Blink Disruptor. But I don't know, I think we've gotten to that point where the time is right for Terrans to just be feeling out how everything works, and they should be pretty comfortable. I know there was that recent patch that took away the early Liberator siege mode, as it now requires a fusion core to be able to be researched.
Good. That unit caused me enough pain, man.
I mean, they can still be made for anti-muta, but yeah, siege mode is such a long way away.
Yeah, it kind of sucks though, because you'd like to be still that dream of having mech be viable against Protoss. I mean, obviously the game's not totally figured out yet, but it's still not really what people are doing. You might see siege tanks make an appearance, but it's not like they've got some sort of siege tank Liberator, Hellbat, Cyclone composition. Well, I'm sure there are some timings around those sort of things that can catch people off guard. It's not really the go-to, at least from what we've seen recently, especially with the C players. It's been mostly bio, just sticking with what they know, really.
And man, I can't believe how passive this opening is. This is probably the most passive opening I've ever seen in Legacy of the Void so far.
Yeah, well, I guess if BlysK is wanting to play macro and he did take a very quick third Nexus, Jabito has no reason not to follow suit. Just build up that army and see how you go into the mid game if he wants to start doing some sort of drop play as the starport finishes up here, or if he wants to go for those head-on engagements. He does have a couple of options. But that said though, BlysK looks like he's ready to do some damage.
Yeah, Blank about to finish up here for his Stalkers as well, warping in a few more to try and pressure the front and the bunker. I only got 2 Marines in at the moment, and Adepts and Sentries to help out Force Field, get those SUVs out of the way. This could be hurtful, and these Marines going to be sacrificed to, for the greater good here. Get that scout off, but that means less Marines in that bunker, of course.
There's really not a lot of units out here still for the Terran player.
Oh.
He's trying to get the repair, but that force field very nicely placed does cut off all those SCVs. And he's actually going to have to put these for the defense. BlysK though, he's hitting so hard here. Is he actually going to have enough to defend?
It's going to be hard. He's getting that Colossus there for the high vision. And man, this Blank, I think this could very well be game-ending damage here. It's looking pretty grim. He's evacuated the natural. He can keep pushing forward with this attack. More and more Stalkers being warped in here for BlysK. And he's going to be able to march up the ramp here. There's no supply depot on the right-hand side of the ramp there to completely ward off. There is a little one that he has to be careful of, but he does set it off. And it actually killed a bunch of the Marines there for Jabito, which is quite devastating for him. 60 supply down, loses an upgrade there. And BlysK going to continue this attack.
Yeah, he's just got so much here, and those Stalkers are going to be very, very difficult to kill with the Blink. There's not a lot of units here. He can snipe that medevac. He's blinked forward. He's just targeting down anything that he can at this point. And this looks like a very quick game on. GG. BlysK takes the first match.
Yeah, what turned into the most passive opening I've ever seen very quickly turned on its head with a huge attack there from BlysK, catching Jabito so off guard.
Yeah, it's like the polar opposite to what we saw from BlysK last time when he's doing these cheeses out the front of his opponent's base. Then he just goes straight into 3-base play. It's really hard to kind of prepare for a play like that, just because you don't know what they're going to throw at you. And I feel like Jabito just didn't have a read on what BlysK was doing for pretty much the whole game. Like once that SCV left the main base early on, that was kind of the last of his scouting.
And with that new chrono as well, if you let Protoss get those 3 bases up pretty much with no trouble at all, those probes get out so quickly, and we saw the economy just boom so quickly there for BlysK, and Jabito was a little bit slow to assert of his own, but man, the economy for BlysK just being able to reinforce that attack so quickly. I think he was only off like 3 or 4 gates for that attack, and he still had more coming, so he really caught Jabito completely off guard there with it's like, alright, you think I'm going 3 base here, I'm gonna just quickly saturate as much as I can before I come across the map. And Jabito took the bait, man. He went into a big kind of economic transition after he spotted that 3rd base and really caught him. But anyway, we're going into Bridgehead here, and we'll go in game, spawning in the bottom right, or the right hand side. This map, man. These spawn positions. It is the Singaporean player from my insanity. It is BlysK.
And on the left, he's the purple veteran of Seas, been around a very long time. Can he bring it back? This is Jabito.
Alright. Very quick barracks this time from Jabito.
Yep. Ain't nobody got time for a CC first.
No, not on this map.
At least. It's funny because it's always that old story with this map. It's like it's the most obvious one to do it on for anyone to go like Nexus first, CC first, whatever.
Yeah.
But everyone's really hesitant to do it just for that exact reason.
Alright, so it looks like it's going to be a Reaper opening here for Jabito, and he's going to have a bit of play around, try and do what he can, throw a couple of bombs in that mineral line there of BlysK if he can sneak in and get the damage done there, but yeah, BlysK, what are you up to, my friend?
Yes, I suppose time will tell. The Reaper's going to be really nice here. Like I think that's a really great move. It's not exactly the easiest map to get a Reaper in on. But he needs some kind of scouting because BlysK threw him a curveball in the last game, you know, quick third, and then Jabito's like, oh, let me just take a third and take my time macroing up.
With that wall off, he can't count the pylons in the main base of BlysK, and he's got his second one out on the map. He's going proxy Stargate.
You make a good point, Insano. BlysK is turning the cheeky power back on this time.
There we go.
After luring him into a false sense of security with a third base in the last game.
Yeah, this Reaper gonna... Yeah, okay, so he's gonna go for that Adept Warp Prism play instead. We saw how brutal that was last time he versed Jabito. Hopefully...
Who would look there? Like...
that Reaper's gonna have to be the one that looks, but... He's being caught. He sees an Adept moving on his way to the map, and he can't get into the main base, and he's being chased.
Need some sick jukes, bro. Oh, actually, can he actually kill it? I don't think he can. Not with the healing.
No, but he's actually going to be able to scout out this. He was able to scout out this attack last time around this time, but he just wasn't able to get a defense up. He's got bunkers coming up. He spots everything going down here, but oh man, I think it's still too much he's going to have to deal with here. He's going to try and pick off the probe. No, he's just going to circumnavigate and get the hell out of there and get home ready for a defense. A couple of barracks coming up for him, getting bunkers, but that is not the position he wants for a bunker because he saw a robo and he knows exactly where that Warp Prism is going to go in as two bunkers start up at those back rocks.
Yeah, the question is, like, where do you bunker? He's got a Warp Prism, 2 bunkers at the rocks. Like, sure, that helps if he breaks through, but he can actually just lift past that, start warping in different places. I don't know, I just feel like there's so much ground to cover here. He's just going to be scrambling for keeping up with the amount of units, especially if he can drop them wherever the hell he wants. But we'll see what happens. I mean, a bit of defense is better than no defense. He just doesn't have a lot of units. He's still building one Rax, and the other one has an add-on on it, trying to get some Marauders out.
Yeah, and he goes straight into that mineral line. That bunker has become useless. There's fresh mules for the taking here as well, but they will bug out for now. And not quite watching there, but he's going to warp in some Adepts here. And oh man, 8 Adepts already in your basement. That is one scary thought. And he can just run past his bunkers.
Yeah, this is the problem. I feel like you need to lift your natural and just bunker up around your main. Like, that's the only way when you basically only have Marines. This is going to be absolute carnage. BlysK is going to be make really short work of Jabito here unless he can come up with something.
Yep, Marines and SCV scrambling here for a defense, but let's see what he can do. He's going to back off for now and try and do what he can now. He's going to start using that... I was going to say, he's going to start using that Warp Prism for a bit of micro there, and he's doing it just right. It's like Blink for Adepts, man. That is a scary thought.
Oh, no, don't say that. Don't put it in that way. Oh, that is terrifying, but there's just too much. GG, good luck comes out from Jabito, and BlysK will take a very smooth 2-0 over our only Terran player in the tournament, who is unfortunately now bowing out.
Yeah, another great execution of that build from BlysK. It just seems... I think even